So, fellow lawyers, I will begin with the one mindset that is, I believe, very, very, very important for today's session, which we're going to make it very interactive. And I'm sure at the end of the session, all of us will have some opportunities to look at it and how we tap such opportunity. So, I always say that think globally and act locally. With that mindset, I would like to begin the session formally now. Good evening, everyone. Once again, I welcome you all to this session. I'm Harsh Patel, CEO of Water and Shah, and I'm thrilled to be here to discuss the abundance of importance of international opportunities available for all of us as Indian lawyers. Today's lawyer is a global lawyer, and embracing the global perspective while maintaining the local expertise is a key to succeeding on a global scale. That is based on my experience, my understanding of all the 8 countries where I've worked upon in last more than 1 decade, and interacting with the fellow professionals and serving to the global business industry. I believe embracing the global perspective is a way forward for all of us. With that mindset, I would want to ask first one question. I'm not sure whether system allows to have a interaction, but if any questions, answers, if you have, if participants, if you can just uh, message in chat box so that I can have a better understanding from all of you, and then we can cover that as well in our session. Have any one of you considered practicing outside India? And if so, which country it fascinates you? And either you tried or you are already operating or not. I want to understand from all of you. Can you guys mention it in the chat box so that we can understand and we can start take it forward? UK, USA, interesting. UK and Canada, amazing. One more new country, UK, Dubai. So today, at the end of the session, we might say that we will be traveling to the world in the charters of all the legal waters across global without visa. So with that mindset, let me begin with first to understand when any such kind of topics that we discuss, the biggest dilemma in our mind is uh, Harsh, we already studied the thousands of law in our own country, motherland, and we are now practicing, and now you want us to study another country's law understanding and again going through the challenge. So first, help us to understand, while taking such challenge, is it really going to be rewarding? That dilemma is always there in the mind. So I want you to give us some facts and figures that which can establish that enough of opportunity lies in all such countries, whichever you guys have mentioned just now, and how we can tap such opportunities. That is what the sessions today is all about. So opportunities per se, first and foremost, we must agree to the fact that India is fastest emerging country in the world and rising on the global map, that India is the fifth largest economy in the world. India's ecosystem startup is again the one of the top three in the world. The manner in which the Indian businesses and the high net worth individuals, corporate, and the families, they are either moving abroad or the family foreign businesses are coming to India. The either of the case, the Indian lawyers have a centric role to play in either of the case. Then it puts us into a question: when any foreign businesses or many Indian businesses goes abroad, the lawyers, Indian lawyers, should not confine them to the only just from an India perspective. It requires the more broaden the zone beyond India, be it any countries where the entrepreneurs come, or be it any country where Indian entrepreneurs goes. That is where we see the opportunity is unveiling for our Indian lawyers to practice abroad. So in terms of numbers per se, Indian lawyers practicing, non-practicing, more or less they are 1.5 million. More than 15 lakh lawyers are in India currently, out of which many are practicing as an advocate and many might be working as a lawyer. Altogether, 15 lakh lawyers comprising of an industry of approximately $2 billion industry. Now it will be very interesting and surprising that India being the third largest economy in the world, when it comes to the ratio of the legal professional industry to GDP, it's way, way, way behind than the compared to the Western countries like US, UK, Singapore, and UAE. Just to give a little example, the total altogether the legal industry market in USA is approximately $450 billion. So technically, our industry is less than our 1 to 2%. Whereas in case of a UK, hardly 200, 300,000 lawyers are working, which may be a solicitor or barrister or a foreign lawyer like us, which all together comprising of a market size of a illegal industry is approximately 50 billion pound. Isn't it makes us to think that in order to succeed as a commercially be the legal practice as a legal individual professional or a legal law firm, it's imperative to look beyond the India numbers, right? While continue to be in India or while continue to be as an Indian lawyer professional, but there is nothing wrong in tapping the opportunity which may make us the way forward for our practices to go beyond broader. Are you guys with me? The numbers gives us some little bit hope. Yes, there are enough of opportunity which may give us the good result if little bit of hardship, dedication, determination, and discipline we all follow. Are you guys with me? So the trends, especially particularly many lawyers are saying yes. The trend itself. So first, this shows us yes, there are opportunities are there. The disparity is there amongst the way in which the compensation and the professional the revenue stream that is for the Indian lawyer in the India versus the lawyers those who are operating in that country. There could be variety of reason which may be considering the dollar value compared to the Indian rupee, considering the industries at large, entrepreneurs, the various opportunities, entrepreneurs from for different countries that may make us legal professional in that country maybe more rewarding than the India. Having said that, the opportunities of all these countries, it is important to understand first when we begin to take expand or venture out in any country, there are three or four set of questions that one should ask and to address is first, how do we gonna tap this opportunity? What kind of licenses, regulations that may be applicable to us? Like as we all may be aware, in India, if you want to be an advocate, the one needs to qualify as a lawyer and to enroll with the bar council. I'm sure then there can be hundreds of such regulations, requirements, and licensing requirements of all these countries where it's applicable. And third, I know how to do it. I know what license is required. Now, how do I tap this opportunity? Don't you think that we need to take a step forward in order to tap this opportunity? The entrepreneurs or the clients from these countries may not be directly be coming to you at your doorstep. So you need to make certain actions in order to them to approach you, in order for them to consider you as a global lawyer, as an Indian lawyer. So these are the three, four set of questions. If we deliberate and if we answer and one take a step accordingly, I'm sure one will be able to cater to all these countries in a better way. So first, let us understand the requirement of most important aspects where I have come across while interaction with the many lawyers from India and other countries, be it come to US, UK, Singapore, or UAE, and someone has also asked about Canada expansion. All these countries that do I require a license? That is the point number one, the first step to consider. If yes, how do I navigate? How do I take up the license? If no, how do I start immediately? So that lies on a totality in all this country. One needs to understand one aspect, what exactly they want to do, pursue in all this country. So first and foremost, the litigation, just like in India, we will more or less will compare with the India practice system. So all of us will able to compare it in a practical way. Let me give you example. If any one of us qualifies as a lawyer, bachelor of law from any of the recognized university from India, and he or she don't want to enroll as bar council, can we still call him or her as a lawyer? Waiting for the answers. Answer yes, yes, indeed. He or she is a lawyer, but not an advocate. So, in order to work, start a work as a corporate lawyer, as a freelancer, as a consultant, as a practicing or as a working as a lawyer in any practicing firm or working for any MNCs or industries, no license is required. Only legal qualification and capabilities and the credibility is required. Similar way, in any such foreign countries, when you are a lawyer from another foreign jurisdiction, and you don't wish to appear in a court, in a local court, and a limited area of practice, like certain countries have requires the local lawyers to be only allowed to be appear in the court. Example per se, Middle East, UAE specific, where any civil law matters, or where any matters in a related to mainland court, only Arabic speaker and the Emirati nationals are allowed to appear. However, the foreign lawyers are allowed to appear in common law. So first and foremost things for all of us to understand what exactly one wants to do. Example, one wants to work in only area of a corporate law, the financial law, the mergers and acquisitions, or a business law, or a taxation law, side of advisory services, or any particular specific field, which does not require him or her to attend to a local court. In such scenario, most of this country, be it like example in UK, we have a solicitor regulatory authority, England and Wales, and then Singapore legal authority. In UAE, we have a DIFC. All such authorities allows the foreign lawyer to be admitted as foreign lawyer license, limited license, which allows them to provide a consultancy services to the client of the country, and to allows them to widely market their service as a foreign lawyer per se. They won't be qualified as their local lawyer, but they will be considered as foreign lawyer, allowing to their practice in the country. So that route is clear. You don't have to again study for 3 years or 5 years, unless you would like to become a solicitor or barrister in UK per se, or maybe you would like to apply for New York local license to be appear in the court, New York court, which widely Indian lawyers are exploring for the America market per se. So only in such scenario, it is advisable to have dual qualification and the licensing per se. But if one needs to begin such kind of services in any country, then along with the exploration of this qualification and the registration criteria of all this respective authority, the most important is the knowledge, understanding of all these countries, the knowledge, the business laws, the commercial laws, corporate laws, taxations or mergers and acquisitions or commercial laws, any area which particularly you may be passionate about, or you may be thinking that if I am in a capable enough to cater to such countries law. Example per se, to practically, if I have to give you a couple of examples. So especially during the time of a COVID, where all the industries were stand still and not able to have a physical office operation, most of the Indian lawyers, those who are young lawyers, especially like all of us, explore the opportunities to provide the services outside India. And that time, the corporate law in US, corporate law in UK, investment regulations, fundraising activities of startups in US or UK, Singapore have widely been recognized, and being Indian lawyers have garnered a lot of work during such time, and which paved the way for Western industries to consider the Indian lawyers continue to be in later, and that trend is continuing to be growing. So, example, any US particular startups, maybe Delaware based or New York based, California based tech startup, wants to raise a funds, they will be requiring series of documents and the legal support, isn't it? Just like in India, any company raise the funds, they require to go for investor due diligence. Then legal documents requires to be draft and prepared, rising from term sheet, shareholders agreement, negotiation, understanding of the local laws, advising on the taxations, impact on the business, and closing the round. So such kind of for entrepreneurs like maybe startups or a seasoned company requiring such kind of support, for them it doesn't matter if the lawyer is based in US or if the lawyer is based in India, as long as you are capable enough to understand their business requirement, their problems, and assisting them in solving their problems. Are you guys with me? So these are the examples, and there are so many such courses available, which makes Indian lawyers, company secretary, chartered accountants capable and creditable to provide the such services to a wide living US and UK. So here we are. First, understanding the regulation of all this country. Do I need to really apply for regular licensing in all this country? Answer lies in what you want to do. It all depends. If one say I want to be a corporate lawyer in UK, or maybe in particularly in England and Wales, and I want to, appear in the London court or England Supreme Court, then yes, you need to understand the legal local requirements. You need to be either solicitor, barristers, or registered with the bar, England bar, England and Wales, or maybe it depends on which other jurisdictions UK you're working. Similarly, it requires in UK as well as in UAE, Canada, India, US, so on. So that's the number one, the licensing. So one should not say, I am having an India law degree, India license. How can I be successful in UK or Singapore or any country foreign? I don't know anything about that country. I don't know whether I need a license, degree, qualification, and so on. That should not be a completely hurdle for you. And if you are determined, then no license or no regulation can stop you. That is what the mindset is very much important. Second, even though license sometimes not required, but it is advisable to carefully understand and explore the what kind of various licenses are available, which if at all you can apply it directly and which may help you to be a more creditable and stand out and to be regulated by the local professional body. Example per se, if you wanted to explore the UK market or providing services to a UK client related to a UK laws, be it corporate, commercial, business law, arbitration, and so on. Now there are two lawyers who set off this. They are you are competing with. In India, when you are competing, there may be only lawyers from Bombay or lawyers from Delhi. So there cannot be like to whether bar council of the Delhi registered lawyer is superior or Bombay. All are equal parity. But when it comes to a foreign country, the lawyer applying for a such job or work from India for a remote advisory or maybe at a future uh, physical relocation. The another lawyer that you are competing with may be a local lawyer from the UK. Then a client certain times in even though the cost comparison, the Indian lawyers will have been the more cost competitive as compared to the local lawyer. There will be sometimes reluctance from among the clients to hire the foreign lawyer, especially when they are not regulated. Can be a thousands of reasons for that. The most one important reason is the disciplinary mechanism. When the foreign lawyer is not regulated by their country, they feel not comfortable to work with them. In such scenario, we need to explore how to be registered in that country seamlessly so that you are better off than your peers. So in such scenario, the solicitor regulatory authorities for Indian lawyers, there are only just couple of documentations and one small exam is required, which makes us qualify for foreign lawyers in the UK, which allows Indian lawyers to operate and practice even virtually in all areas except certain areas which are prohibited and kept only for the registered advocate, which includes the corporate law, advising on the financials matters, advising on the commercials, business law, and so on, cross-border mergers, acquisitions, and so on. More than thousands of Indian lawyers are so far, by and large, are name of the exam. So you may go in detail at the SRA website. It's called Solicitor Regulatory Authority. Depends on which type of registration you want. You will have to require to adhere to that. So once you log into the system, once you apply all the documents and submission, then you will hear it from couple of 1 weeks. And if you require a full license, then there will be a pathway examination or maybe SQE, that is a solicitor qualifying examination that one needs to undergo. I hope I am able to address Shital. So that is related to UK qualification, whether it is required or not, licensing regime. Even if it is not required, why I should register for it? So one more reason that I explained is the creditability is the most important. Second, that gives you a future pathway to become a permanent advocate in such country. Example per se, many of our Indian lawyers who started as a foreign lawyer in UK or in other country, particularly in UK, started as a foreign lawyer associate chamber practice. Slowly, gradually, they've been elevated to the solicitor and then considering practicing as a full-fledged practice in the UK court, including UK Supreme Court. That is what. Yes, we will be covering Dubai as well. So that is related to the first question, qualification and the licensing. Now, Singapore. Singapore, we have also similar system like a UK. Foreign lawyers are most welcome and advised, but UK is completely the free market. There is a free trade agreement also with the many countries by the UK. However, in considering this for Singapore, for a foreign lawyers, even if they want to work for a single work, they are required to have a license in a Singapore, unless you are employed somewhere on a full time, unless you are advising on the Indian laws for a Singapore client. But if you have to advise on a Singapore law, then it is a mandatory requirement of a foreign law. For that, there is a little bit more challenging and cumbersome process as compared to the UK side. There is a system called 3 years continuous practice in a foreign country, then reciprocal service and the applying, and then mandatory some AML regulations and all. And after that, you will able to apply for a limited foreign license practice. So that's on. The cost for the certification in all these countries are not so high, except US. UK's are SQE solicitor examinations are more costly as compared to other jurisdictions. But the exam for the foreign qualifying, I believe to even for take up a license, I am not sure it should not be more than £500 in UK. Singapore for an entire license regime, it should not be even more than $1,000 per se. These are just a basic ballpark number, as I'm not aware of the exact figure, but you may refer to their website, and at the end of the session, I will share it with the Plea team for all the relevant regulatory bodies with all of you. So for Singapore market, it is again a free. Indian lawyers are most welcome, but they are not reciprocatory having an agreement. So you need to apply for a foreign licensing in Singapore in order to apply. Even after getting the foreign license in Singapore, it is not 100% allowing rights to practice before the Singapore local court. That needs to be taken into account. And then comes the UAE, UAE being one of the fastest growing legal market alongside the business industry. If I have to give the numbers to just to give you all acquaintance with the so many immense of opportunity that lies in the UAE as a country for a lawyers professional. So UAE, the size of the country and the market industry is $10 billion for a legal industry. Even though the number of lawyers are so small, but the legal industries at large is so high. That is testament to the fact that the country's dominance in the global trade, which is a gateway to the Middle East and the North Africa region, country's dual structure, which makes very, very attractive for foreign investors and enterprise and the professionals to practice. Example per se, India is majorly a common law based driven country, like a UK British system. UAE is comprising of by and large mainly is a civil jurisdictions. However, within the country, they have a common law based jurisdictions. So that is called DIFC and the ADGM, which is based on 100% completely on the English British system, which allows the foreign lawyer like all of us to practice before the DIFC court. And there are a handful of dozens of Indian lawyers, including me, those who are practicing before the Honorable DIFC court and ADGM. So that is completely on the English system, no requirement of Arabic. And even your foreign lawyers are allowed to appear before the DIFC court as well and plead as well. Right of audience is also available. And the licensing cost, I believe it is two to $3,000, $4,000, and it requires every year's renewal and then a lot of certifications and all that is required. So these are the broadly the all these countries that licensing regime that required. Then so licensing, I hope you guys have all now overall understanding of all these countries. Now after licensing, one thing is very important is having a right requisite knowledge to practice in all this country. Whether I can practice in this country, whether I will be succeed or not, what kind of clients will be I will be serving, whether I'm required to relocate or not, that all comes at a later stage. I'm sure you will all agree with me. If one does not have requisite knowledge, equivalence of the lawyer practicing in that country, do you think any right set of mind of a professional or an entrepreneur will able to hire such lawyer? Answer is obviously no, right? Any British businessman or any American businessman or Singaporean will not prefer to hire a foreign lawyer, especially from a foreign country, without having qualification or the rights in the country, just because of a cost competitiveness, where the person does not lack the knowledge of it and capabilities. So it is foremost important for all of us to develop the capabilities to serve in all this country. Once we make ourselves capable enough to present in all this country, No matter what happens, no one can request. Is there any country which does not require licensing? Can we will cover the licensing questions at the end of the session, if any there. So I am stressing again, the gaining knowledge of the local laws and operation are a very paramount importance in all this jurisdiction in order to succeed. One may ask the questions, how do I start the same? It all depends on again which area you are passionate about, which fields you want to work, and what exactly the level of service that you want to do. Example, if any one of you is a corporate lawyer and have worked in India, per se, like a fundraising or a corporate law, documentation, legal advice, opinions related to corporate matters, shareholder dispute, and arbitration, then one may say that I want to have a natural expansion of my this service list to a different geography rather than venturing out to a different field, like example, intellectual property or some other field. In such scenario, if we are considering US as a willingness to expand, then first and foremost is to understanding the US corporate law system, the US basic legal system understanding. Just like in India, when you start any legal practice or take undergo formal education, understanding of the how Indian legal system work, constitutions, litigations, and so on. Similarly, the how US court system, justice system works, US commercial laws, especially the New York, California, and the Delaware. Delaware being the prominent word, state jurisdictions where more than 70% of the Fortune 500 companies are based. It's first step to understand the learn about the Delaware state corporate laws, how in practical it is implementing, understanding various drafts of deeds and documents that is going to be prepared in a series of business documents. Let me remind you the way in which the Indian lawyers draft the documents for the India and the requirement, the industry requirement in all these countries are vast disparity. So you may not see consider the same as it is the format of the India draft, let's say shareholders agreement, or though the key outline remains the same, but in reality, in the practicality, when it comes to the operation, in substance, it really gets change. Example, shareholders will always be called as shareholder in all this country. Requirement of directors, board meetings, minutes, various rights. It's always going to be the same. But how it's going to be practically implementable, that is what's important to understand from a practical perspective. For that, you may have a challenge that how do I learn the practicality? I may have access over internet or access over some legal formal education or informal education. There are so many other courses, certifications are available, which can widely be you may check and undergo for, like, practical approach for a US corporate law for Indian lawyers, practicing as an arbitration for US matters from India, and so many such opportunity, not just corporate. Then it comes to uh, gaining of local knowledge about course certification and all. So once you have practical knowledge, once you have understanding and awareness of all the laws and regulation that applies in that particular country or state, naturally it is very much important to uh, develop the door of opportunity, right? If someone is not going to knock, if after understanding all these US local laws, US expertise capabilities that you develop, you cannot say I will be continue to be sit in my comfort zone or my office in India and I will wait for the US person to knock the door. I'm sure that may happen, but it may take a long time. So in order to attract the opportunity, you will have to build a door of opportunity for you. You have to build a network of your professionals or lawyers or entrepreneurs and start networking amongst the US businessmen, US business house, and understanding how and when you it's right time for you to tap the opportunity. In my experience, if I have to give some examples per se, is like there are so many such networking opportunities for a India US corridor, where especially the Indian businesses, those who are working in US and those who are expanding out, US businesses coming to India. But natural, this makes all of us easy to target and tap the opportunity, because we can resonate with them very well, being an Indian lawyer and Indian businesses based in Singapore, US, isn't it? So for that, there are so many such chambers of commerce which are dedicatedly working in such corridors. To give you such name in our experiences like US India Chamber of Commerce, then US Business US India Business Council, where there are so many such networking opportunities in a cross border, hosted by Embassy of US, hosted by Embassy of India in US. So one should take such opportunities to interact and learn from all the entrepreneurs and the lawyers and to see how they can make themselves uh, position and market. Then, which is very, very important in all this country, be it Singapore, UK, UAE, wherever you wanted to capitalize the opportunity. The one thing that is very much important in today's time is about positioning yourself. Position comes from the mindset, not from the reality. It is very much important that you have to envision that yes, I wanted to myself see 5 years, 10 years down the line as a Indian expert American lawyer on American law, UK, Singapore, UAE, so on. Plus particular field. There cannot be a lawyer with the general knowledge of all of us. Otherwise, you will be continue to be a general physician and not the specialized one. There is no harm to be a general lawyer, but in order to be get the best out of best, it's important that the problem solving approach in a particular field has to be there, be it intellectual property, anti money laundering, corporate law, tax, or finance, or arbitrations, dispute resolutions, so on. One particular field, one lawyer should have a mastery of it. So if you see the pick up the any Indian councils or Indian stalwarts lawyers, those we look up to them. Either of them, they are expert in one or two particular field, or if they are running a firm, then they themselves are expert, but they have a pool of talent under working for them. That is how the expertise being valued over different geographical location. So, be it any country, that I was touching upon the point that after knowing the qualification, local knowledge, and expertise and networking building, the positioning is very, very important. So, make yourself proper positions in any country where you go, because I have seen in my experience the many Indian lawyers or many professionals, they position themselves to as compared to the foreign peers or competitors, that we are cost competitive and the cost friendly person. And perhaps that could be the reason that Indian law industry altogether put together is just $2 billion. Isn't it? The cost makes us all of us at take home salary, and the take home pay check is very less, right? So it is very much important, and I believe it's paramount consideration should be given for the value that you deserve to be carried forward. So never compromise on your value and your uh, skill set. So positioning yourself, then the development and the marketing. One may say that lawyers and advocates are not allowed to be a market. That's completely right. I'm not here provocating for anything which is not permissible in any law under any jurisdictions. But that does not mean one may not position herself as an expert professionals before prospective clients and the industry and the society at large. To give you some example, we are talking about now for a global market per se, not about India market. So India Bar Council Act and the Advocacy Act requires altogether different considerations to look into when it comes to the advertisement and soliciting the clients. But when it comes to the foreign jurisdictions, the many country allows. If you see the website of the foreign law firms, be it US, British, or Singapore, UAE, you will not see such disclaimers. Of course, you might see such disclaimers that direct soliciting and the marketings are not allowed, but uh, to an extent, the promotions, the marketing, and the such permissible in all this country. Example per se, if you wish to be an expert in a particular field like intellectual property, there is no harm in being on sharing your knowledge and sharing the problem solving approach. In today's world, the knowledge is available like a news. So don't I always urge all young lawyers, don't be just a newsmaker amongst all the millions of lawyers, like how to register a trademark, example. So that is not going to be a problem solving. But if we have to stand out from the our peers, we have to identify the problem and how I can solve. Example, if one of us is a IP lawyer, uh, wanting to making their marks in the US or UK or Singapore, perhaps you can take up a matter in such a way? What can happen to your trademark or intellectual property if it is not registered in the US market? A particular XYZ company faced the $1 billion lawsuit without trademark and copyrights and patents. How much tax benefit one can get from an unregistered brand versus registered brand? How registered brand can value your business as compared to your unregistered uh, business. So such kind of problems, be it any field that you take, be it a corporate law, be it taxations, be it business laws, commercial laws, when we work on a problem solving approach, I am sure the value of professionals is being considered more high and not just being seen as just a solution service provider. So that is to be considered across all the region, not just US or India or like that. So we covered for the gaining knowledge and persons. Till now, so far, we understood the what all local laws and regulations requirement for practicing in the country, whether I should require registration or not, and if not, still I should go ahead with or not. What knowledge and regulation knowledge, that capabilities that I need to develop it, and how I can develop it through various course certifications and collaborations and networking events and the participation into various B2B business events and so on, and developed your own personal brand, which makes you stand out from the crowd amongst all the lawyers. And last, which was it is not much important, is in order to build opportunities, it is important to be a problem solver and not just be the solution or the service provider. Last, which is very much important in the context of uh, this international opportunity, especially from an India perspective, many of us may not be willing to relocate abroad or may looking for a particularly providing service from India. And many lawyers, especially from Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Gujarat, they are serving to thousands of clients across world for legal services. Many of you might be interested to what kind of services that you may be venturing into, considering as legal processing outsourcing. So, off lately, from a COVID, since COVID time, the global at large, the Western countries, especially the US and UK, many lawyers have they've shifted to the foreign country due to visa regulations challenges and due to fiscal issues in their respective regions and also on. The entrepreneurs have widely recognized the emergence of India at for LPO, that is legal processing outsourcing. Till now, many of us have heard about KPOs, if I'm not mistaken, KPOs and BPOs till now. But in last particularly 5 to 7 years, the rising LPOs have created enough of opportunity for Indian lawyers, including lawyers individually, those who are practicing. I've been knowing many corporate lawyers, those who are working remotely in some remote cities in India, and they are doing a fantastic job for providing assistance to Danish company, Swedish company, and the UK company, US company, advising on cross-border business laws, M&A, taxations, and so on. So LPO is continuously gaining prominence, and India is very well suited as compared to other countries. The right talent pool amongst all other regions, which were those who are our competitors. The countries like Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, these are other alternatives for our Western countries, considering the currency benefits that they get when they outsource the work to the developing countries. India considered to be the hot most favorite for all of them, considering same like a technology. So LPO export of service are being also gaining rapidly. Number one, that is obviously the right pool of talents among the youngster. Then second, qualification and the creditability. The Indian lawyers are considered to be the smartest among other peers for outsourcing. Then third, of course, no doubt about it, hardworking our professionals and all of us. Then fourth, discipline and that commitment that requires to finish the job. And fifth, which is very always important, is the cost and the friendly relation between all these countries when it comes to at a larger picture per se. When you are operating at a very small minuscule level, then such things does not arrive. Which all factors put together makes you a perfect choice for tapping this opportunity in all this foreign country. Now, to start a LPO, whether as an individual, whether as an industry, or whether particular company join, it all depends on one's vision, mission, and the passion that one carries. At the end, it all depends on what you want to do as a lawyer, and as when you want to come to a opportunity. So that is particularly the LPO, the continuously gaining the opportunities in the legal sectors, and trends and the benefits. Shows that even there are some reports by, I believe, by McKinsey and other management consulting firm, that LPO sector is going to be grow by CAGR approximately digit in near coming time. And I'm sure when we aim for countries to become a superpower by 2047, I'm sure the country will have immense of opportunity for a legal, whether it is from inbound or whether it is from outbound. That is go hand in hand. You all will agree, when industry grows or industry had any challenge, the lawyer's job is always at forefront. With this mindset, it is very very important. The opportunities are there. I have shown you all the how we can navigate such, all these countries waters. But at the same time, it is very very important to all of you here, the young lawyers, to aim high and take risks, because many of us are so much into a comfort zone which makes us believe that yes, this is normal. Yes, there is no that we may not think that there can be a solution or a service outside India which can be awaiting for us. So when you don't go outside of your comfort zone, you never know what opportunities are lying for you. So I urge all of you, aim high and take risk. The global level landscape as we stand today is a very vast and the full of opportunity. You always, I encourage to have a 3Ds. If one follows the 3Ds in any professions: dedication, discipline, and determination. And who knows better than all of us lawyer, those who are practicing in India, how much patience for each hearing, how much waiting for each hearing about for all the Indian courts practices anywhere in the part of the world that you do. So that dedication, discipline, and determination, if you have to succeed, then you can achieve the success at global level. No one can stop you. Remember, the world is one stage, and every challenge that we face is an opportunity to learn and grow. Because if we keep looking at the challenge, then I'm sure the result will be not in your favor. But if you look at the vision and the end goal, that yes, I want to practice in the UK, I want to be practicing in the UAE, Dubai, Singapore, then you just follow the path. The journey is very important, not the end result. But if today, if I sit and I say that yes, I want to practice in Singapore, but I should get a success in 2 months or 6 months, that is not going to happen. So that is very, very important to aim high, take risk, and always level up your capabilities and credibility so high that you compete with the world best peer and not just among the local. Because when we become a lawyer, let's say from Mumbai or Delhi, we usually try to practice at a local court, maybe district court or a high court, and then your life juggles between such among the lawyers, those who are practicing the chambers of that local country or the local court per se. It's nothing wrong per se, but that is not giving you the vision board or the view of a global. So even if you don't want to practice in any foreign country, I always urge that Indian lawyers should travel, just like to travel for your vacations or holiday. You must travel in all these jurisdictions to learn the best practices, to learn the how this country's lawyers operate, and how these countries lawyers are elevating the standards, and what all best things that you can cultivate in your own practice in the home country. That will, I'm sure, will make you more better successable. So to recap, understanding and leveraging the intersections of all, be it business setup, corporate law, taxations, and all, is very, very crucial for global success. Now, you may have one question: why Hershey is stressing on more on a corporate finance and tax and other legal business? Why not about criminal laws and constitutions and so? So, civil laws and constitutions, and including family laws, have it has opportunity cross border, but it has not widely being available to all of us. So example per se, the entrepreneurs and the business requirements you may find easily, as compared to if you find some criminal job, if Indians, those who being arrested in foreign country, and they require some support for such service, usually the local license is required to appear before the court. If any Indian national is arrested in the Singapore or London, and they are facing the action, I'm sure the local criminal laws requires the local lawyers to appear. So that creates a bottleneck and hurdle. So even if you are expert in a criminal law or Indian constitutions on India side, that does not mean you cannot venture it out. Still, you have a financial criminal aspects. You have so many other aspects of extraditions or money laundering, and so many other laws that you can venture out with your expertise and knowledge of India market. So I really hope that today's discussion that as all of you has inspired you to explore the international opportunity and equip you with the knowledge to navigate the global legal landscape. And remember, I strongly urge you the success is not just about working hard, because many of our Indian lawyers always comment that we have around the clock we have to work. We carry a briefcase, and sometimes we used to type during our waiting for our hearings to come. And also at the same time, many lawyers are practicing in different courts at the same time. I'm sure many of you might be remembering and uh, feeling like we may be nostalgia, like one court to another court during the session that is going to happen. But working hard is not the solution, my dear friends. It's not about, it's all about working smart and the staying disciplined. If you want to be a just not known by the number of cases, but you want to be a commercially successful, and you want to capitalize the commerciality of the work that you do and the value that you deserve, then you need to work smart. You need to ramp up your speed to match with the technologies and the changes that it brought to the industry and the legal profession as per se. At the same time, aim always high, take risk, and let your dedication guide you to the new heights. With that, now I would like to open the floor and the panel for all of you to have any questions that you may have. And I would want this to be an interactive sessions, so that we can learn from each other and experience. And I'm hoping to have a high aspirations for all of us as an Indian lawyer, and to make India proud. All of you. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and to be among us. And now I will be available for Q&A sessions. If Plea team is available, then anyone who wants to ask the questions, you may please raise your hand, and they will able to unmute you.
Mine is a little different case in that I've already been admitted as the Solicitor of England and Wales recently. So I have a license to practice in England and Wales. So I'm looking at two things. One is you mentioned remote work, right? LPUs. If you can share any platforms that you know of, ready-made, that have these opportunities, it would be nice. Which would help me to use my qualification as a solicitor. And secondly, I mean, okay, if it's not the right platform, I'll reach out to you later. But I would also like to register in the DIFC courts. I would like to know the process for that. So either now or later, you can tell me that.
May I know your good name?
Sushil.
Sushil. First of all, congratulations that amongst the one of the few Indian lawyers, those who are uh, admitted as a solicitor in UK. Regarding your first set of questions related to UK for a remote work and LPO, so there are a couple of websites to the best of my knowledge, like which is available for various professionals like lawyers, CAs, and IT professionals like Upwork. But to be honest, considering your expertise and your qualification, the platform like Upwork is not suitable, because that is for a very junior lawyers, those who are working into initial drafting of smaller contacts and simple work. However, on a broader level, if one wants to explore the LPO for any market, then one of the key important aspect is to network and collaborate with the local firms, and try to approach as many as entrepreneurs and local lawyers, those who are already in existence in partnership with some other foreign LPOs, and how you can offer the better than their peers. And then third, being visible among the market is a very important and prominence. In order to recognize in the UK market and to get the work, it is very important. Even if we are remotely working, we have to be virtually be present. Virtually be present means you can sign up for the local participation at the Chamber of Commerce in UK, various business organizations, various vocal groups of businessmen, where you can have an audience of all the UK entrepreneurs, when you can get an opportunity to network and be delivered your expertise through knowledge sessions, write a expertise masterpiece blogs or articles and the content which is UK specific. This is a long battle to go. It cannot be into a just a couple of days or weeks. You can see the result, but I'm sure all these activities may lead you to uh, tap a great opportunities in UK. Regarding DIFC, yes, I'll be available offline to discuss and to I will able to share you a few inputs which may help you to register before the DIFC code.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Harsh.
There are a few queries on the chat box. Can you list the countries where license is not required?
So the license for per se, it all depends on what kind of work we are planning to do. So license example, like if we want to practice in UK without any aggressive marketing or without any prominent presence physically, then you may open a company UK directly. That is completely allowed, but you will not able to be call yourself as a UK lawyer or UK creditable or regulated lawyer. That's why being regulated is very very important. Example to give you background is, if you see anyone in India, if they are giving advice you to buy any stocks or mutual funds, it's a different side of industry, but still, then you will say before investing their creditability, whether they are SEBI registered or not, isn't it? Similarly, if we are operating in any country to advise on any local laws or to work in practical contract drafting or any such services, it's very, very important. But to operate as a consultant, not required. Even for US as well, there are dozens of Indian lawyers, those who are working for your US client. They don't have any license per se, but you will not able to state it in your all. You can say all the letter pads, documentations, wherever whatever you do, you will not able to call it as a legal memo. You will not able to call it as a legal opinion and advice. It will be just simple work of a professional consultant.
Okay. The next question is, can you elaborate on the freelancing opportunities available for Indian lawyers?
Freelancing opportunity, as I highlighted, there are many, many. Similarly, all these countries, they have all platforms like Upwork or various other platforms which available for applying for a job of a small short-term job or a one-time job, and where you can bid your professional fees and then you take the service. So I have seen Upwork is quite successful for many many lawyers, especially in the startup area in Bangalore based lawyer, Pune based lawyer, those who are applying for a Silicon Valley startups work. That is quite prominent. But it is time consuming, it is patience is required for freelancing opportunities. But indeed, it is there across the globe, not just one country.
Okay. And as a participant wants to know, does internship help in securing international opportunities?
Indeed, internship gives you a overall broad understanding of that local country's practical aspects and makes you countries awareness about business environment, how it operates, and what all implementation and the practicality of the whatever. Example in UAE, I believe concern person a candidate asks about, yes, Dubai only particularly. Let's say example, by sitting in India, if you are reading about UAE corporate laws or UAE business laws, then it may happen that you may not be aware of the how in reality it is get implemented, right? Just to give you example, uh, law may says that it is okay, the case will be dispersed on 60 days, 30 days, or this is how the process for filing arbitration or filing for case. But when it comes to when you approach the practically, the it's completely becomes different because what court requires, each bench has a different requirements to proceed. How you successfully get your case listed before the registry, that is also very important. I'm sure you all of you have such experience when it comes to, so such things cannot be taught over a short course or certification course or even a degree. It's required to be get a practical understanding while working on real life cases, and that is why it's important to undergo be it job or be it internship, whatever as the case may be.
What path can a professional having a chartered accountancy and a law degree take?
What path?
I mean, like, what are the opportunities for a professional having a chartered accountancy and a law degree in the international market?
Excellent. This is very, very near to my heart, being a chartered accountant and lawyer. So, being a CA and lawyer, it's always makes a unique combination, like a financial acumen with a legal background, which enables one to provide the cross-border, particularly be it related to taxation, be it related to any corporate matters, which is coupled with the finance as well as law. And that solutions is always recognizable, accepted amongst the entrepreneurs as compared to service provided by a lawyer. So let me give you example with a real life experience. So in a case of a corporate restructuring or a family restructuring or a family successions or a cross border business restructuring, a lawyer and CA both play a integral role to of such mandate. Reason, any legal advice which is lacking the financial fiscal angle is completely not tenable. Any advice on a taxation or on the fiscal side to any entrepreneurs or families without having legality of viability is again a challengeable. So when it comes to legal plus CA having acumen of all 360-degree from all this country, then that person will be better off and will able to solve the problems at for our clients and the families at large in many way. So the corporate restructuring can be one of the example where one person can say, if I know UK law, if I know Singapore law and Indian law, I will able to help you from all the perspective. You don't have to go to anywhere. But at the end, it's very, very important that in the end of the journey that it should not happen that check of all, but it becomes a master of none. Then again we are moving towards the path of generalization, and then it may lead to again resorting to expert professionals. So one needs to strike a balance, and CA plus lawyer is always widely recognizable across all the countries for all the corporate commercials, arbitration, taxations, and structurings per se. Thank you.
Okay, Harsh, in our registration form, we had got a few questions. Just so, what are the like? Are there any recruiters that we can connect with to get these opportunities
Recruiters to connect with such means in order to get the
in
job
grab
in such country.
international? Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So first important ones, you need to develop your capabilities. Unless we are equipped with of all these foreign countries knowledge and per se, then no employer will hire. I'm sure you all will agree with me. So once your groundwork and the system is ready, then the LinkedIn is the one of the most powerful tool one can resort to. There are paid subscriptions which are available. For example, if one may looking for Gulf, Middle East like Saudi, Qatar, Dubai. Then there are naukrigulf.com, LinkedIn. So I think Job Seeker or Navigator, I'm not sure, there is some premium attached to it. Subscription is there. Then there are so many other such portals that are widely available, which lawyers can definitely apply for their job in that country. But here the challenge is to the my knowledge that challenge comes except Middle East. In all these countries, like example UK, US, Singapore, you may be able to crack the interview and you may get a job, but still it's not 100% done. Why? Because the immigration problem. And that is the reason that today's session is about getting the international work at your doorstep in India. Because what has happened, and we all have experience in the past, that those professionals, those who are working in US, after a couple of years facing problems with the immigrations, with the visa policies being changed after the government, new government comes, or be it UK or be it other country, the problem arises that the stability, when you shift to new country, the stability is important for you and your family. And that puts us into a situation to figure out either to set up your own practice or to get the opportunities at your doorstep. So that is also need to be taken into consideration before making a decision for taking up employment abroad. It's
Okay.
from my side also. Thank you so much, Malvika, for the invitation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Harsh, for taking out time. Bye. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you.